Okay, so what do we consider a follow-up on our team? I consider a follow-up one of two things. First thing I consider a follow-up would be a phone call, and the second thing I would talk about is a video text. So I'm going to go over real quick what a video text is. A lot of people ask me this question, well, what's a video text? How do I do them? The truth of the matter is video texts are extremely simple. And the other thing that we know about video text is they convert over a phone call approximately 2 to 1. So in other words, if I make 10 phone calls, I'm going to talk to 2 people, maybe, but if I make 10 video text, I'm going to talk to 4 people. That's not exact numbers, and that's not been tested across the country. We just know that it's showing up at about a 2 to 1 ratio. The other thing we know about video text is sometimes people who can't answer their phone will do a video text, and vice versa. So how do I do a video text? You hold your phone up in front of your face, you hit the record button and say, hey, good morning, Bob. This is Brian Curtis. I just wanted to reach out to you. I saw that you're looking at some houses on our website, and I'd love to set up a time to talk. Video text should not be any more than 15 seconds long, and you'll be amazed at how much better response you get to them, especially people who aren't returning your phone calls. So if you want to try something fun, don't be scared of it. You know, here's the great thing about a video text as well is that if you screw the video text up, you can delete it and try again. You know, sometimes it's going to take 10 tries, but ultimately just get out there and try it, and you'll be amazed at how many more people you're able to contact with a video text. All right, so I'm going to just go through this real quick, and I'm sure that we can send some information out to you guys if you want some of this stuff. I'll give you my contact info at the end of the end of the webinar. So if you're interested, I'll give you my phone number. I'm happy to email things like this. But I wanted to point out that my schedule is pretty hardcore on the front end, so we want to call everybody in 5 minutes, preferably one. The system's going to send out an email, we send out a video text, and then we're going to make a second phone call. So in the first day, we actually try and reach out to every single person who comes onto our system 3 times, assuming that they don't come in too late in the day. The second day is pretty strong again. We do a phone call, we do a video text about the VIP buyer program, and I'll cover what our VIP buyer program is a little bit later. We follow that up with the VIP buyer text, and then we do a phone call. And you can see that basically we continue through those type of things day after day after day. It's pretty strong the first week, and then we go out in 5-day increments. Then we go out 30-day increments, and 180 days we put them on a completely different system. Obviously, we're going to leave those in Ylopo. We're going to leave those people on drips, but we're going to put them on a different schedule. But my initial schedule starts out at 180 days. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, and I believe that it's really important, and I know that it's important because I've talked to the agents on my team, and what I found is that we're not really good at this unless we stay on top of it. We're about 100% better at it today than we were 6 months ago, and probably 300% better than we were a year ago. So the number one thing that we need to do with our database, we have this amazing database, and a lot of people say, well, it's no big deal, I can cover that. And I don't know each person on this call how many people they have in their database, but I can tell you we have 16,000 people in our database. And if we do not do database management, which is often considered some of the most boring things in our industry, how on earth are we going to possibly keep track of these? So the very first thing I think you need to do every single time you call somebody is log the call. So real simple, log the call, hit log call, and it's logged. The next thing you do, and this is a pet peeve of mine on our team, is you never, ever leave a lead without a follow-up. So this lead here, it's me. So that's a little bit different. But I make sure that every single person, if I log into any lead in our CRM, I want to see that they're either been put in the trash because we have bad phone number, bad email, or preferably what I want to see is when we're going to talk to them next. And if we're not, and if I'm logging into leads and we're finding out that there's no follow-up date, then those people are in potential of going on lead probation and not getting some leads for a while. So everybody knows on our team that if you don't, that you never ever leave the scene of the crime without having a follow-up. So we do this actually 2 ways, and it's kind of a neat thing that we learned by accident, but we do the same tasks that all of us do here. You click on the button here, you set the follow-up. So for example, ours is reach out video text March 31st. Obviously I didn't do this today. Here's another thing that we found that works extremely well is we put a tag for the day that we want to follow up with this person. The reason that we do that, I'll show you on the next slide, is I can come into my database at any point in time. I click on this tag stage here. I put in 03/31/17, and it's going to bring up a list of every single person I need to call today because I put tags on every single one of those people so that we can follow up with them. So now I know who to call. One of the absolute biggest problems that real estate agents tell me is I don't know who to call. You know, I've got all of these leads. Who do I call today? Well, the very first thing that we do every day is figure out who I'm supposed to follow up with. So it's really easy. If you use these tags here, you just go in here and then basically you click on one of the buttons like this, or you can come in and put this filter in here like this, and it'll pull up every single person you're supposed to call that day. So to me, database is all about making it easy, and that stuff is, one of my coaches told me one time that success is boring. So this is kind of what I think about success being boring. It's about coming in, clicking on this, and going through and making those phone calls. The other thing that we do is after you've called the people that you're supposed to follow up with, some people do follow up first, some people do lead generation first, whichever one, it doesn't really matter. But the next thing that we're going to do is click on last activity. So this is something that is amazing that we have the opportunity to basically go out and cyberstalk our clients. So someone hasn't been on your website for a month, a week, even a day, or we can see the person who is on there in the last thing. So if you click on last activity here and sort this way, you can see that even though this person was on 24 days ago, they were the last person who was on my website. So I want to call Ron Phillips, and then I want to call Esther, and then I want to call Mike, and then I want to call Jody, because these are the people who are coming back to my website consistently looking to get business. And one of the things that we know is we want to call the people who are the most active in our business. I think over and over sometimes real estate agents go out, they spend a lot of time, they're willing to do the work, but they're calling the wrong people. So while Ylopo gives us the opportunity to look at the very last person who was on our website, that's really the person who I want to call today. So once we go in there, the nice thing about that is, again, we can follow their trail. So I come into this lead, and I look here, and I can see that they returned, they viewed one listing, and then I can actually go into Ylopo Stars and see what was happening with them. So what is Ylopo Stars telling them? So first of all, it tells us how often they log in, and it tells how long they stay. So for example, this person on the 23rd stayed for 6 minutes. So on that day, hopefully this person got a phone call and was really working. We get to know what they're viewing, and then we get to know what to do next. And really, this piece of information right here, what to do next, is the absolute most important thing. What do I do next? So I've just looked at this person. I want everybody to note that this is an off market. For me, when I see somebody who came in on a listing alert, this person was a listing alert, got this message for this property at 17 Appleby Lane in Bella Vista, Arkansas, was interested in that, clicked on it, but it's an off market. So we put together a script for this, and it's one of the most powerful scripts that we have. So the script is, I noticed you viewed the property at 17 Appleby Lane, and unfortunately, that property is already under contract. I'm going to set you up on our text alert system that will send properties to you the moment they hit the market, so you don't miss the next great house, since our market is extremely hot. The reason that we're doing that, and I want to point out a couple things about the scripts that we believe in. First of all, I'm not a fan of asking yes/no questions. I hear agents all the time ask a question like, hey, I saw you were looking at some property on our website. Are you interested in going and looking at properties? If they say no to that, then you're kind of closed down. So I like to ask questions that are similar to this. An optional tie-down in this scenario might be something like, that sounds like a great program to ensure you don't miss the perfect house, doesn't it? If you get a positive affirmation to that, that can work out pretty well. And then I will say this script can be used for a text or a phone message. So I would call these people first and say, hey, you can go through this script. If I don't get them, I'm not a fan of leaving voicemails. I would prefer to follow up with a text so that they do that. And then they can actually, in that process, if I am going to do this text, for example, I can actually send it to them and show them what it looks like so they can see what that looks like on their phone. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like here in a second. A couple other things that STARS is telling us is this person here, as you can see, they logged in the 11th, the 12th, the 15th, the 18th, the 19th. This person's interested. So again, another great script. I notice you've been looking at a lot of homes on our site. How many homes have you seen in person? The reason that we ask that question is it's one of those great open-ended questions. So they might say something like none. If they say none, hey, I'd be happy to set up a time. You know, are you available to see houses during the day, or do nights and weekends work better for you? To me, the either or close in that scenario works so much better because, again, we never want to give a potential buyer or seller the opportunity to say yes or no. So that's great. Another thing that we can do is if they say several, great, who is the agent who's been showing you homes? One of the things I hear all the time is instead of that script, I hear, so are you working with an agent? And of course we want to know if somebody's working with an agent, but if we ask them are they working with an agent, even if they're not, they might say yes, in which case that kind of shuts us down. So I always ask them who the agent was, and most of the time people just answer, well, we were just calling the listing agent. So great, I would love to show you what we can do to help and get the most benefits and discounts. I can send you some information on our VIP buyer program. Another thing that I'll cover today is what our VIP buyer program is and how you can use that to convert those people who are looking with 4, 5, 6 different agents, haven't made a commitment yet. You can bring a little bit extra value. Okay, so what I want to talk about here is converting listing alerts from what we're on the MLS. I say that our board uses MLS Matrix and what it looks like if you use Ylopo instead. So this is what I've seen. The average agent sets up listing alerts and you get something that looks like this. Click on the following link to see your listings. And as you can see, that really looks like something from 1995 as far as I'm concerned. I'm pretty sure it was written in DOS. So, and then the average agent may actually do a little bit better, and they may actually call that person and say that, but realistically, most agents who are setting up listing alerts that we found out is that they send those listing alerts and then they never follow up with that agent. So we send them listing alerts, and we're also assuming that they're opening those emails up. I don't know the statistics on it, but I know your average real estate agent is looking at your email 5, 10, 15 times a day. In case you guys don't realize this and we don't necessarily think about it, regular people do not look at their email 10 times a day like we do. So if you're sending somebody a listing alert and an email, assuming that they're getting it is probably not a good assumption. So this is what I love about Ylopo. To me, a good agent sends something up that looks like this. If I get this email that comes through, then that looks so much better, so much more powerful than just a line of different things. It looks like I care about it. It looks like it's professional.
Hey, Brian, this is Howard.
Here's what great yes, sir.
I just wanted to interject for a second, which is, so, you know, we've got a big tech roadmap. Obviously, everyone knows we keep releasing new stuff and modifying stuff every month. So we've got a big project underway to improve the listing alerts even further, which is great. And then also working on being able to send listing alerts through text. So I know those obviously fit into what you're talking about today.
They are actually, so thank you, Howard. So that's one of the things that I'm going to kind of show you my hack around that. And I think that, you know, G and I have talked about the whole listing alerts through text. I think there's some benefit to it, but I think it could, there's some risks that come with it too. So short term, what we do is we actually send up text alerts, and what we'll do with that is we'll pick a house. So this is what we do. So if a new house comes on the market, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but because of some restrictions, and that's not Ylopo's fault, but that's some restrictions that come with regulatory, we can't necessarily send these people instant alerts all the time because of problems. So most of us are set up on daily alerts. So someone's going to get an email when a property hits the market. If it hits the market at 9 o'clock in the morning, they may not see it for 24 hours, and they may not see it for 12 hours or whatever it is. So we actually set up alerts in our MLS to notify ourselves. So I send up a listing alert, and then what I'll do is I come in to my Ylopo site, I copy the website for that new property, and that's what this is. So basically, I'm copying this website. I come back into follow-up boss. Make sure you click on text because I've actually thought I've sent a text before and basically just created a note. And then I send something out that looks like this. Hey, Brian, I saw this new home and thought it might be something that you might love. And I send them a link to that. I click send text, and right there it pops up and it shows up on their phone. So I actually just sent this to myself, and you can see this. Hey, Brian, I saw this new home and thought you might be something that you love. Here's what it looks like actually on my phone. So I'm going to click here, and then it comes up and it looks great. So one of the things that's amazing about the Ylopo website is it is mobile responsive. It is set up to be viewed on mobile. Obviously, you can scroll up and down in this and you get a little bit more information, but it's right there on their phone. They get to see it. You don't have to worry about them checking email. And yes, it does take a little bit extra time. But what I know is that if you're competing against 6 or 7 other agents, I'd love to be the agent that sends them something like this versus just hoping that they got something in their emails. So these text alerts that we've done manually are really, really, really helping, really taking it to the next level for our clients.